like those artists, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Rihanna, they really built an empire for themselves. They started in music and then built out. How is she building her business?
Well, you can see that businesses are gravitating towards her because of where her stature is in hip hop, right? The Netflixes of the world, Frito-Lay, Nike, a couple of other deals that I can't mention yet that are coming down the pipe for her. So I think they see her. I think they see her fan base. I think they see her social media following. And if I'm a brand and I'm trying to get to my next consumer, right, that Generation Z that's eventually going to be 30 years old, right, or 20 like you, Brittany, right, and they're going to spend money. And who am I capturing that through? And they're going through Megan Thee Stallion because she has so many social media followers, right? She has the hottie fan base. If I'm a company, I'm going directly to Megan Thee Stallion and saying, hey, what can I do to align? Because I want to make sure my product is seen through your fan base because that's 50 million plus people.
And following Megan Thee Stallion and watching your interview, something that really jumped out to me is her authenticity. But what surprised you the most when you were profiling her?
I said something interesting. I asked her what was it like being a CEO, because technically that's what she is. She's a CEO of her own brand, and she said she's kind of nervous. It's nerve-wracking because one wrong thing, whether it be social media, something like that, and it completely can get wiped out, And so I felt like that the amount of pressure that she's wearing as a 27-year-old superstar, and to walk around thinking like you cannot make one mistake, otherwise you fear that it can go. I think that's a heavy burden. And so the fact that she's carrying that and she's doing it with a smile on her face and still, she's mad cool from what I know of her and seen of her. The fact that she's still doing that and carrying that burden around, that's impressive. That is, because listen, I was 27. I could not have that the weight of the world basically on your shoulder, and one wrong thing. And you've seen it with the Drake tweet. It can blow up and it can get taken out of context. And to have that amount of eyes on you all the time, that's a lot.
The vulnerability is really inspiring.
Yeah.
And she was first featured on the list back in 2020, and now years later, she's on the cover. So what about her do you think gives her that staying power?
Well, listen, hip-hop gives her that staying power. Let's not forget the doors that she came through. Hip-hop is clearly the music of today's generation. You don't believe that? Just go to any playground, watch and listen to the 10-year-olds, just look at what they listen to, right? It's hip-hop.
Go on TikTok.
Absolutely. TikTok, and wherever you go, there's hip-hop. Look at sports. They're integrating hip-hop music, more and more hip-hop music. I turn on a commercial now, I hear Coolio. God bless his life, right? It's hip-hop, right? You got to continue to make sure that you represent through the essence of hip-hop, and I think if you do that, the sky's the limit for her, but you got to make sure that you don't forget where you came from, right? She came in through hip-hop. She got to make sure that she satisfies the hip-hop fan base, satisfies her business through hip-hop, and, again, it's turning 50 years old in 2023. It's going to be 100. It's going to be popular. It's going to remain relevant for a long time. It's not going anywhere. It's only a new generation coming behind it. Megan Thee Stallion is clearly with that.
And the under 30 is touted as reshaping their respective industries and the world. So how do you think Megan Thee Stallion specifically is doing that?
Well, she has some scholarships, and she has her foundation. But, listen, she wants to open nursing homes. I think she really wants to give back to her community. She really wants to go back to Houston and throughout Texas and Dallas and spread those nursing homes and open it. She got the Popeyes franchise. She's coming right. One of the few black females in the quick, serve restaurant space. So, listen, she's giving back, right? She's doing, but again, 27, she's still trying to build her empire. Before she does that, right, before she looks too much into trying to change the world, I think she has to make sure that she's positioned to do that. Because if you're positioned to do it, then, you can go do it. But don't try too hard. Don't go too fast. I love where she's at right now. I love, where the stage she is in her career. The fact that she does give back. The fact that she's thinking long term, making her promise to her grandmom and opening those nursing homes. So I love that. But I hope she doesn't go too fast.
And the list really is a glimpse into the future. So I know you're saying you don't want her to go too fast, but what do you think is initially on the horizon for Megan Thee Stallion? And then let's say she's 27, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. What's next for her?
This is a conversation me and her had. I really would love if she were to remake the movie 13 Ghosts, right? Acting and directing is really... She has an excitement about that, right? When I talk to her about acting and directing anime, like she lights up like the 27-year-old kid that's just, going back to her roots, just tracing, looking at cartoons, eating hot Cheetos. So, I really feel like the acting, the film route, the Hollywood route, we've seen a lot of other people make that transition from, Queen Latifah, an idol of hers, Ice Cube, another idol of hers, and the list goes on and on and on. Will Smith, Philly. But I feel like that is a lane that she can really capitalize on. And the thing is she wants it. She has that. She's devoted to it. And I know because when we talk about movies, her favorite horror movie, 13 Ghosts. And I asked her, why don't you remake it? And she's like, I might do that because it's really never been remade. And I did finally get a chance to watch that. It's a really scary movie. So I want to see where she definitely, ends up on the Hollywood scene. She has a documentary coming out, right? And she also has a potential deal with Netflix to, create a show about her life. You know what I mean? About coming up. I mean, think about like Everybody Hates Chris, that show. Maybe it's something like that. So the film and the Hollywood route is certainly a path for her. I want to see if she can go there and make some noise too. Maybe win an Oscar, an Emmy.
Do you think the film avenue would be another plan A for her? Something interesting about your interview was she talked about having not a plan B, but 2 plan A's. Yeah. So can you speak to that?
I feel like, man, I've heard that before, right? Denzel Washington said that a long time ago when I first heard it. You don't want to think about a plan B is when I heard him say it, because that's almost like thinking that your plan A won't work. You already so you always say, no, they're equal plan A's. I love that mentality, right? And that just shows you that Megan Thee Stallion refuses to fail. She's not looking at second or third option. She's looking at her one option. That's why I say, listen, film in Hollywood, she says she wants to do it. Nothing has stopped. Look at her track record. She's here thus far. So when she says Oscar and an Emmy by age 30, I believe her.
I do too, and I think that's the perfect embodiment of the 30 under 30 list. Yeah. 2 plan A's, no plan B.
No,
well, Jabari, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.